There are several paragraphs that I want to read to you. First one is general principles of ethical conduct. Continued. Employees shall endeavor to avoid any actions creating the appearance that they are violating the law or the ethical standards set forth. Whether particular circumstances create an appearance that the law or these standards have been violated shall be determined from the perspective of a reasonable person with a knowledge of the relevant facts. Next one is appearance of impropriety. An employee shall endeavor to avoid any actions creating the appearance that the employee is violating the law or the ethical standards set forth in these guidelines. Furthermore, it states, for employees for whom a security clearance is required, and you do have a security clearance, correct?
Today I do, yes.
You've had one for quite a while,
Yes.
other than the circumstances.
Yes.
For performance of their official duties,
Everybody's getting
prohibited
shook now.
conduct, and more may be grounds for suspension or revocation of a clearance. This could also result in adverse disciplinary action, including suspension or removal. Under the Hatch Act, all federal employees may vote, express opinions, and make political contributions under the Hatch Act. Active participation in partisan political activities by federal employees is restricted. And employees, and I want you to listen to this very carefully, serving in certain positions are more restricted than others. I think you are a person that falls into that category as well. I am just actually disheartened about the situation that you are in. And I say this with no prejudice, and I think you are your own worst enemy. You have an answer for everything. You have an attitude that is very obvious today, and you are the kind of witness that you and I, as a prosecutor for 18 years, a district attorney and a U.S. attorney, would love to get on the stand. And the reasonableness of the statements that you made, and I'm not going to get into the language, but the repetitiveness of it. Where was your judgment? What were you not thinking when you were sending the emails and the statements that you made and the comments of the people in Virginia? I would expect someone of your caliber to be way above that. You got carried away. You got impressed with yourself, and you're in a position.
You think all that, guy?
I'm sorry that that's the case.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If you are trying to draw a distinction, a wide distinction between bias and political opinion, there's not the wide distinction that you are drawing at this point. Because I would bet the farm that if you were sitting next to me as the investigating prosecutor, and I was the prosecutor, and Judge Poe or another judge were handling a case, whether it's civil or criminal, you and I would be pointing out the biases that I see
all over your text and
here. I just don't understand your judgment based on your background.
Your position.
Maybe respond to that.
Sir, I appreciate your comments and I appreciate your concern. The first thing I would tell you is I'm disappointed if you did not understand the amount of regret that I expressed from the beginning of my opening statement to the harm and damage that this has caused people I love and the institution.
I do understand that now, sir. I do understand, but it's in hindsight. And people like you and I that are here to protect the citizens, we should be thinking of this before.
Congressman,
targeting
folks. And I would absolutely agree with you that there are things that I regret in retrospect. And I hope that comes across today. I know a large portion of today has been combative in a way that has nothing to do with my sense of regret and remorse. I would draw, since you brought up the ethics manual, I would note in that manual, in further restricted employees, every FBI employee,
your head right to confess,
other members of the
tell the
intelligence community,
truth.
are restricted. But within that category, if you read that manual, citing the Hatch
He
Act,
just
it says,
gave
except
out
for
of
where
it. What do you-
otherwise prohibited, and that has to do with
This guy.
activities coordinating with a political party, employees may not only have political opinions, but they are encouraged to express them.
I know it well.
Sounds like some of the rules.
Sir, well, I don't draw any disagreement with you about bias where it occurs. What I disagree with you and so many people today is that political belief does not equate to bias, and we always have to go to the evidence.
What do you
if you
think?
can demonstrate evidence of acts of bias,
Tell me.
well, then bias is there. But in the absence of
Yeah,
any,
it sure is right there.
truly, the Inspector General, this committee, any
Level
number of
7
other people
FBI or
looked
whatever.
and looked and looked, and not a single act tells me
Blame it on Russia.
it didn't occur.
It just goes to
really
Putin.
Competent
Like,
people have looked for it. And so, beyond me
These
telling you
people
under
are
oath
crazy,
that I know
man.
it didn't happen, what's important to realize
they're trying to
is
just cover
it's
their
not
own
just me.
hide
It's
so
this entirety
bad.
of folks looking at it.
And they're
It is
getting
the
on them
entire
later in the day.
structure
It's
of the
been going on
FBI
since
who's
like
built
10
not
or
to
something.
do
I
those
don't know,
things
maybe earlier.
and not to allow it in others.
Time of the gentleman has
It's
expired.
expired.
The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from Illinois, Ms. Kelly, for 5 minutes.
I know it's been a long day for you, so I will keep it simple. Some questions
She
will
looks
be
like a
repetitive, but if you
Democrat,
could just
huh?
say yes or no. In your time at the FBI, have you ever investigated